Would you please lead us still?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Turn on your mic. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Logan.
Present.
Bullock.
Oh.
Butler. Freeman.
Here.
Newquist.
Here.
Revis. Trinier.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. I don't have my agenda in front of me, but we did the roll call, we did the pledge. Let's see, do we have any old business? Oh,
Approval of
oh,
minutes.
there we go. Approval of minutes from the April 8th meeting. Can I have a motion?
Motion Logan.
Second Newquist.
Motion Logan, second Newquist. Roll call. please.
Logan.
Yes.
Butler. Freeman. Newquist.
Yes.
Trinier.
Yes,
I got this.
Motion passes.
thank you.
Oh, it's up there.
Yeah, it's up there. I think it was on its way being up there before. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay. Old business. We're going to start with chapter 34 of the Will County Ordinance. And I know this has been gone over before. Hopefully I have the right copy in my book. Mr. Mock, take it away.
Okay, like you said, we went through chapter 34.
Mm-hmm.
Sent out copies to everybody to look at if they chose to. I passed out a email I got from Micah that did point out some things that I had wrong on this version. I thought I corrected them. And, we go to page 9. In 34.070.
Mm-hmm.
After we say provisions concerning the planning and zoning commission, I want to insert in parentheses PZC,
Mm-hmm.
just because we refer to it mostly as PZC later. And then on page 11, and I thought I fixed this, but I didn't. Under I think it's really page 12, sorry, my version. Under
It is.
34.107 membership,
Mm-hmm.
number 2,
Mm-hmm.
fire service. After we put the anachronism Mavis in, I still left it lowercase, and we discussed last time I was supposed to make it
Capital.
capitalized, so I
Mhm.
fixed that. But other than that, that was the only changes I had to 34, but
So I'm so
If anybody else-
This microphone needs to be on.
Oh, you know, okay.
if,
All right.
if anybody else has any suggestions.
There was a typo.
Okay, good.
34.110 on at least the version I have in my book.
Okay.
I didn't bring my iPad version because, well, I didn't think I was going to be here. There is a space between or and DERS on line 3 toward the end on 34.110A. So line 3, the word orders, there was a space in between the OR and the DERS. I don't know if that's on everybody's. It's been corrected?
Yeah, I
Okay.
caught that one, I think. Sorry.
Yeah, no, these are the ones that you and I went over. I just
Right.
don't have the updated version printed. So, okay,
Vicky, I just have one.
yep, go ahead.
So
Let me turn on your mic. Got to get in the mic mode.
this isn't a correction or anything. Okay, so the whole ETS, the board section, we don't have that anymore, right? That's why we took all that out.
Right.
Okay, just wanted to, I could not find that in my notes and I just wanted to make sure. I mean, in the economic, all these commissions, economic affairs.
Right.
We don't have those anymore.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to confirm that.
Here,
Sure, I got
mine.
plenty of them.
It's fine. She can in mine. Okay, do we need a motion to, as amended, send 34 to the executive committee? I believe we do.
I'll motion.
Motion by Logan, second by Freeman. Can I have a previous roll? Oh, actually, we got to have a clean roll. We got a new member. Thank you, Dawn.
Logan,
Yes.
Bullock, Butler, Freeman, Newquist,
Yes.
Terrenier.
Yes.
Motion moves forward.
Motion's unanimous, moves forward. Wonderful. All right, we are going to start to chapter 35, which is a really short one.
Yeah, on chapter 35, I had to strike so much out of chapter 35, and the reason I did it is we wrote, the original chapter 35 was from 1946, and it didn't refer to Sunny Hill Nursing Home. It referred to out at where I guess it's the mental health center for the Department of Corrections, but it used to be the juvenile prison on McDonough Street, was the county home, poor home. And the county home meant the county poor home back then. Later, the board included Sunny Hill Nursing Home as county home, but they didn't strike out all the other stuff. I ran this through the administrative staff at Sunny Hill with the changes, and they had no problems with it.
Wonderful. Mr. Mock, at 35.05, did you insert the word nursing in the sentence and in the first sentence and also in the description? I know we talked about this. I just want to make sure.
No, but I probably should.
35.05.
And I think I should put the whole title in there.
Sunny Hill.
Sunny Hill Nursing Home.
Okay, you could, that's
I'll
fine.
strike the word county and put Sunny Hill Nursing.
Okay. And then in the first line, toward the end, it says improvements of the county home. I would assume you'd want to do the same thing there. First line of 35.05. At the end, it says no additions or changes to the buildings.
Right,
lands,
should say
improvements."
Sunny Hill Nursing Home there.
Okay. Will be made except for the direction by the county executive. Hold on, just let me turn you in. Member Newquist, go ahead.
Yeah, at the risk of like being repetitive. So 3505, we're changing that from county board to county executive.
Right.
Does the county board have to vote on, anything we did regarding the building or?
The
Mm-mm.
county, no, all buildings are under the authority of the county executive,
Right,
under the County Executive Act. What you would vote for
It's the
is to
budget.
expend funds.
okay,
If there was already funds in the budget,
right, so,
if they decided we want a new elevator installed, the executive would have that authority as long as there was money available to do that. If there wasn't, they come to you for a budget.
so the executive can basically direct the improvements, but obviously, right, without a budget, they wouldn't be able to
Right.
happen.
And then-
Okay, that was just a little unclear to me there, thank you.
In real life, basically, the director of the facility does all that kind of stuff, but the
Right.
director of the facility is an executive branch, so they're basically under the executive.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Member Newquist. Mr. Mock, can you take a look at 35.06, where
Sure.
it says rates for nursing home care? Would we want to change that title at all? Is that good?
Yeah, because that is what they have.
I
the-
just want to make
Yeah.
sure that we're.
I checked with them. For a while there, they were trying to do the rehab thing and they told me they don't do that. It's just nursing care now.
Okay.
That's,
They have a lot of physical therapy there, as we all witnessed.
well, I know, but that's part of
Yeah.
the nursing home.
Okay, and then under 35.07, it says the medical director will serve Sunny Hill Nursing Home on a full-time basis. Did we really have to put the home in there?
No.
Well, he refers to it later down, that's why.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. I do refer to the home and be in the other sections.
Instead of writing out the Sunny Hill Nursing Home, I have it on my mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I got you. All right, thank you. I wasn't here for the first round.
Oh, yeah, no, you're good. I had that
And-
scheduled, so we're good.
And if you can see under the 3507F where I struck home patient care committee and
Right.
they told me they don't have them anymore. That's why I struck
Correct.
it.
They have a quality assurance improvement
Right, that changed it.
committee, right? All right,
Which,
so,
so when I talked to them, I said, don't do that again until you come to the board to get the board's approval to change those
Ah, yeah,
Thanks.
they need to know.
They
that.
just changed it on their own and they shouldn't have because you ordered them to have that and then they just chose not to do it. But I think they understand that now.
All right, that's awesome. Hopefully more than one person understands. That way, when that person leaves, everybody else will understand what it means. All right, I think we need a motion to
One
send,
more thing.
oh, one more thing? Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Phil,
anybody else?
Phil, are you gonna renumber them?
Did he
I
renumber?
wasn't going to.
Oh,
I don't have a problem with leaving some blank numbers in it.
Peeled or whatever?
Yeah, it doesn't hurt just to,
Well, because he took out O2.
if you,
O3,
no,
O4.
that,
did we
that's,
do
a-
that in the other ones? right?
yeah, what I should, what I would
35.02
recommend we
repealed?
do, just on the title page, the
Mm-hmm,
first one, where it says sections,
mm-hmm.
those three I struck through still have the numbers there and put repealed.
Okay, yeah, I think
I
that's what
will
we did
do
in the
that. We
others.
did that before and I should have caught that.
Yeah, thank you. Very good, Vince.
But I won't bother putting repealed. I'll just have a blank in the body of it.
That's normally what they do with the state too.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Okay. All right, anything else? Anyone else? Okay, then can we get a motion to send this to executive? Motion Freeman,
Second, Logan,
second Logan,
And that's as amended, correct?
as amended.
as amended, yes.
Previous bullet?
Previous Bullock,
Second, Logan.
second Logan. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So that one's going to the executive committee. Chapter 36.
Now in 36, if we turn to the page 12 under 36021,
Well, these were just some
yeah,
of the
the
changes.
pages will be different
We
probably.
can go back.
But under 36021, subsection B, bereavement leave. I agree with Board Member Freeman's suggestion on that it should read as follows: bereavement leave. An employee may take a bereavement leave of absence which shall not affect his or seniority of 3 days, which may be extended to 5 days depending on distance of travel. And I think we should strike caused by and put in due to,
Due to the death of an
due to the
immediate
death of
family
immediate
member
family member.
or spouse's family. Mhm.
And I think that's a good suggestion and I would think we should do that one.
Yep.
And then on 36077, which was on page 26 of the one version, but I don't know if it's where it's for sure, but I think it should read as follows under privacy. It should say, although employees may use passwords to access electronic communication system, comma, emails and internet usage, comma, these communications should not be considered private, just to make it clear to everybody what we're talking about, to give a little more force and effect to it. And then at page 28, under 36082, where it says any personal computer, strike out computer and use the word device, so it reads any personal device that has access to the internet or email must have an antivirus software installed on that. Again, strike off computer and put device. The next sentence is fine. The software would be software recommended by the Information Technology Department. And then the internet intentional introduction of viruses, attempts to breach system security, or other malicious tampering with any of the county's electronic communication systems are expressly prohibited. And I think we should put a comma because you directed me to do this and I missed it when I retyped it. I apologize. And it should say, and subject to criminal prosecution pursuant to state statutes. So they really know, don't do it, it's a crime.
So you don't want me to remove the antivirus from my
Right,
iPad and the user ID and download Netflix?
yeah. But that was the suggested changes on that.
Okay.
So-
Hold on just a second.
No, that's
Mr.
for the
Butler.
county device only. You can use your home device, put
Yeah.
whatever you want on it.
Hold on, Mr. Butler. We're just talking about county devices and put your light on. Ms. Freeman, Member
I-
Freeman.
Thank you, Chair Trainer. I just wanted to tell everybody that my suggestions are not coming from me. I make notes and then I'm going through them. And if after, Mr. Mock has updated it and he sends us the new versions, I go back through it and then I
Mhm.
send him a little update saying, hey, we missed this and this and this. There's just so much there that it's easy to miss. I actually had sent him one email on some other ones on these same chapters, and there were things that I missed and he missed, and it's like, that's why we have all of our eyes and
Right.
ears on this. So
Right.
But for your question, you can have what you want on your computer, but if you introduce something on it that has a virus, intentional introduction, and then you interface with the county computer, then you could be subject to criminal prosecution because you're downloading into the county computer a virus from your device. And it says intentional, not a mistake.
Yeah, anybody can have an accident. Hold on, Mr. Butler. Go ahead.
So shouldn't it be any device used for county business that has access to the internet instead of any personal computer?
I don't know if they mean personal computer as in a PC, because that's what we call a PC, or do they mean a device that you yourself own? So we probably need to clarify that because
Okay,
the terminology, personal computer, PC, that's what a PC is.
It's antiquated.
no, I agree. It should say any personal device that has access to the county internet or email. We should insert the
Yeah.
word county.
Okay,
Cause I don't use my phone for any county business. I only use this for county business.
okay.
So let's say
Hold on, I got member Freeman first, then you, member Newquist.
So I know that we're going through the process right now, getting the little is it dongles? Will that help take care of this too? I'm asking.
Mr.
staff,
Hendricks has
Tim,
gotta come over.
Anybody that knows about these dongles?
So what Member Freeman, hi, Tim Hendricks for the record, with the County Board Office. What Member Freeman is referring to is the multi-factor authentication key that the ICT department is rolling out. It will in part assist in that, but it will not necessarily remedy the situation. It's not an antivirus software. It's just an additional layer of security to help protect the county from malicious software.
Yeah, and to prove that the owner,
That is correct.
user is legally able to use the
And-
equipment.
and
We
e-
had these at my last 2 employers ago. Go ahead, Mr. Mock.
Even in the state's attorney's office, we've had people use their own computers to access the county emails and get viruses put on them that we had to take off. It's a problem. And don't worry about people just on this level. You got, hundreds of employees in the county and some of them may not know what they're doing.
And don't realize they have a virus.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. Like if I use my home computer a lot when I'm going through this stuff and I do send emails. Typically, I don't send attachments per se, but still, if I did and I had a virus on my home computer, it introduces it to the system. And I think that's what Mr. Mock is trying to explain. Ms. Newquist, member Newquist, your turn.
Yep, I think you answered my question, but I was just gonna say, so like, for example, I use my laptop at home, to access email, and I accidentally open some suspicious attachment and introduce a virus into the county, network or email system or whatever the case may be. That's what we're referring to here, correct?
No, what we're referring to in the first half is you're supposed to have an antivirus on your personal computer that's compatible or recommended by our IT department to prevent that problem before you even do it. And then the second half is if you get people that are bad actors and they intentionally try to have some type of program slid into ours so they could steal data, that's the crime, not
Okay.
a mistake.
Got it.
Okay. Mr. Mock, you mentioned IT department approves. I've never been told by the IT department that I should even have an antivirus on my phone or on my laptop or my desktop.
I can
They've never.
They can send an email to all of us to tell us to do that, but it's in our rules. It's even, even before I made these changes, it's in the rules. Except that the rules just said personal computers, not other
Right.
phones or tablets.
But you said recommended. I mean, I could have an antivirus program installed and maybe not the best one and not the one they're recommending. They've never made a recommendation. I guess that's where I'm coming
Well,
from.
why they're saying recommended by them, that
Mhm.
it's, you should have one of sufficient quality, and the downside is, we could use the term approved by them, but you don't want to have to deal with them to approve every, 500 employees or 1,000 employees each individual time they get
Mhm.
a antivirus. But they would have antivirus recommendations that they could send out and blast from there to everybody's email. It says, please be advised, if you want to access this with your personal devices, we need this type of antivirus, and give 3 or 4 kinds.
Yeah.
That's what
th-
you're
th-
talking
That's what
about.
I'm talking about. And they've
I've
never done that.
I've
Well, they
never
can
done
now.
that.
But
They've never done that to us,
Yes.
Not
for
me.
us.
so
Oh,
can we just,
Hold on, we got the chief of staff here that's going to tell us something we need
everybody
to
can
know.
just jump in anytime.
Go ahead, Mr. Pelkey.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's fine. I can wait.
I certainly can as well.
I'm letting Jackie direct her meeting the way she wants.
Well, I think he had something to tell us about the.
I was just saying, in
antivirus.
general, IT generally discourages people from using their personal devices to, conduct the county business. So they would rather have you, which is why, we have distributed the iPads, which is why we have, all this access available to you, through official county devices that they can monitor more closely. But they generally discourage you from going on your personal devices and accessing through those devices. So.
Okay, thank you.
So there should be a distinction about anyone who uses their personal phone that might access any type of accounts with the county, such as your email from your phone, where there's a recorded password, or the schedules, or anything that you're trying to access and log into from your personal device, that would count here. But if you don't, if you're just visiting the county website, that doesn't mean you have to have any, stuff like that.
Right. No, it's just very interesting. Like I said, they've never made any recommendation, and only recently when I got a new phone did they seem to really kind of be discouraging me from putting my email on there. When I first put my email on the phone 17 years ago, nobody was really discouraging anybody. They just said, it could be subject to FOIA, which I don't really have any fear of. Yeah, anything, anyway. I just don't carry that iPad around with me. It's heavy, bulky, and yeah, I'm not carrying that everywhere. And like most people, I check my email. Well, I can't say most people, but I've always been advised to check the email at least 3 times a day, morning, noon, and evening. Any employer I've ever worked for.
That's someone who works at a desk.
No, I didn't work at a desk. I was a remote worker. I worked all over the country. And I was
You work
specifically-
in a field doing construction, you can't check your email 3 times a day.
Well, but if you have a cell phone and it's provided to you, you can. Go ahead, Member Williams.
Yeah, when when I first got on the board, when they gave us the iPad and then the Chromebook, they did tell us they preferred that we did not do business on our other devices and just do it on here, but they didn't say that we had to or we couldn't. They just did recommend that. So since they don't, maybe that's something that we should ask them to do.
Yeah, I think maybe our chief of staff can reach out to them, and at least for board members that they, if they have some certain recommendation of software, we should at least be aware of it. Because I do check things at home too on my personal computer. I would far and away prefer to sit at a desk with a full-size screen and computer versus looking at an iPad. So,
I
Yeah.
got 2 things.
yep, go ahead, Mr. Logan.
All right, Phil, do we want to add something in there about the MFA? That everyone's got to use it?
You could try to, but I don't know if,
Technology could change.
no, you could do it. I mean, I don't know if technology can stop non-approved devices to access. Maybe they can, and it has to have the board has the ability to say that we're not going to let you use non-devices, but then the problem is you got hundreds and hundreds of employees that don't have county issued phones or laptops that do access
Everybody
stuff. Unlike you guys, that they may not, it may affect our operational efficiencies by not letting them do that.
Oh, I don't think that's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
I just meant, do we want to write something in there that we
That we
have
have-
the MFA going on? Because I use it now, we all use it now here. I mean, the rest of the county board doesn't.
But it's interesting. We all, we all will be. And I would just state that usually when you use MFA, and I haven't been through the training
Yeah.
you all have been through, but usually you have to use your personal phone to approve
You do, have to use your personal
you're
phone.
going on to the iPad.
Yeah.
So well,
Or you-
again, I don't know how they're going to do it, but I know like where I worked just
Sit-
previously at both the township and the union, you had to use your cell phone to approve your access to the computer. So no matter what, you're using a personal device.
Until IT makes the recommendation that we have to do that, I wouldn't bother putting it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then number two.
Okay.
Hold on, Mr. Logan has another.
Number
question.
two, do we have a filter? Because I know it through school, we have a SEPA filter and Dawn can attest to that. We use a SEPA filter, which is Children's something Protection
that
Act.
I don't know
Do
I
we-
don't
Do we
know.
have a filter like a?
We have a
like
spam
an-
filter.
No, for like a filter that covers every computer the county has, like Cisco has an umbrella. So I can't type in something that says unable to access it. Do we
That
have
I-
that? assume
That I
we do.
don't know. You'd have to ask IT.
I assume we do. I can't imagine we don't.
You mean, are you asking if you can view porn
Like-
on a government
Yes.
computer? That,
Without
They
it
do
being-
have that.
okay.
Without it being blocked.
Well, they do and they don't. There's like, I know at the state's attorney's office, there's like 2 computers that can access that because we have people that do internet child porn
Correct.
stuff. They specifically
Is that
can,
here in this building?
no, it's.
No, I
state's
mean, is
attorney's
that, I
office.
mean, like, can Sandy go to her computer and type
No,
whatever she wants and, like, can she access Facebook from her computer right there?
I don't think so.
Yes.
She can? Facebook?
Yeah, most places allow you to access Facebook now.
All right.
Yeah.
Because I know there's a lot, here's my knowledge on that. There has been FOIAs that were issued that said, I want to know every blocked website Phil Mock tried to access, and they'll run my name. And if I hit anything that said access denied, it says like something, girls in chains, I don't know. Because they did that with one of the judges one time and he had like tons of porn attempts from his office
Right, because it
computer.
monitors everything.
Yeah, but they wouldn't let him into it. But there was a list of all these
But it's
salacious
still-
names and the guy got really embarrassed by it.
Yeah.
So I know that there is filters because it obviously blocks those because it says
Okay.
you can't access.
Mr. Pelkey's going to check on it and get
Yeah.
an answer for us. Anything else?
Because if we don't, we probably should look at getting one.
I
We
think,
should block like Facebook, Instagram, we should block all that stuff.
No.
That's personal stuff.
Yes
So
and no.
back
Mr.
to-
Butler, go ahead.
Back to Vince's first point,
One person.
you know, like with bigger organizations and stuff, when you want to access their databases or whatever, it'll ask you for your, you know, that secondary backup, and then it'll go to a designated number, which could be IT. And at that time, they could just say, hey, in order for us to approve this, you need to have this software, you know, spyware or antivirus or whatever on there. And then they could give them that number over the phone. That's the way I've had to do
That's
it.
the way I've always done it too.
But I'm saying it's someone else
Just
that
like
you
a
check
temporary-
in with.
Yeah, like
It's
a
not,
temporary thing, yeah.
a lot of times they'll come to the phone, but that's just to say, hey, you are who you say you are. That person is actually, but if we wanted to make it to where we check things to make sure there was proper security and stuff, we could just have a designated number for that, like some of the other bigger organizations do.
Thank you, Mr. Butler. Member Freeman, you have a question?
No, it's more a thought. As far as trying to block things from individuals, we are adults. And our roles across the county are so varied. As Mr. Mock stated, some of the employees actually have to search porn and try to find those perpetrators. And I think every department has Facebook and Twitter, and I don't know how you could possibly try to block people. I think that as adults, we need to just act like adults, but I know some people don't. But I don't know how you block that when each department is so specific to their roles.
I hear you. All right, do we have any other changes for chapter 36? Circled something in it. Why I circled it. 36.021 leave of absence, number 4. The board hereby grants all county employees elected or appointed to the office a deferral of compensation for accrued sick days. We don't give sick days to elected officials, do we? So I think that's why I circled elected, but.
They just don't come in. Yeah, they don't, if they're sick, they just don't come in.
Yeah, you're right. Elected officials don't have any, because you don't have to show up for work.
Yeah.
So I agree, we could,
Right?
It is 36.021 leave of absence. We were there earlier in letter B. Number 4. Even appointed officials don't have.
No, I
sick
said just strike that part.
no.
You still got employees. They get it.
They should strike elected and appointed.
Well, yeah, elected, I'm sorry, elected, that's all right.
Yeah, no, I think we should strike elected, because you could have appointed officials that you give benefits to, like the head of Sunny Hill's an appointed official.
EMA directors appointed.
Appointed. Supervisor, they get sick.
The supervisor assessments doesn't. I don't believe the supervisor assessments does. There was some discussion about that with the last supervisor and the contract that was signed.
But that was a weird contract. But the other thing is, you don't want to treat them that they don't have to show up for work either. You don't want to make an appointed official like an elected official. You answer to the voters. Again, I could be elected to some office and never show up for it. We have no recall. We have nothing. But for appointed officials, usually they get sick days as part of their appointment, because otherwise, what if they just don't want to be there? They want to do their job from home.
Wish I could remember the discussion. Lucas was here, member Van Dyne would have been, maybe member had the big discussion about the last supervisor of assessments.
But
There we go. Okay. There was discussion about, the last supervisor assessments, Rhonda Novak. And this vacation and sick leave and all that. And I can't remember how it all shook out. And do you
I do.
remember?
I
Okay, go
remember
ahead.
that very well.
Okay.
When she was appointed originally, and I don't even know who the executive was, but when she got appointed originally, she had a contract of employment, and that contract of employment specifically said she has all the same benefits as every regular
Yes.
employee.
I
That
think
was in that contract. That's not the normal rule.
Mhm.
And your current supervisor assessment doesn't have a contract of employment like that.
Okay.
But I still think some appointed county officials, depending on how you want to designate that, you guys do have benefits for.
Well, I'd like to make sure on that one.
But I know elected should be out of there, because
Right.
it should just say, in my opinion, it should just say, county board hereby grants to all county employees appointed to the county office a deferral of compensation for accrued sick days upon the request of the employee until separation.
Yeah, I just would like some real clarity on the appointed people and what benefits they get in terms of sick and vacation.
You could,
And I want to know if it's across the board, the same for everyone, or does it differ by department and appointment? Because I'm just going to say, I'll throw one out there, the Board of Review. I doubt they get sick days and vacation
they
days.
don't, they get nothing.
Right,
They get a per diem when they show.
right. And I'm trying to think of maybe some other things, Stormwater Committee, but
They get
Um,
nothing.
But supervisor of assessments, we think gets something, but yet I don't know if there's. a
Your
contract.
highway commissioner is appointed.
Yeah.
And he gets stuff.
So I don't know. I just feel funny that we're not clear on who gets what and why.
But I definitely think elected should be taken out.
Okay. Yeah, oh, yes, go ahead, Member Newquist.
I was just gonna say, I want to know what constitutes an appointed position, because like a good example, the deputy clerk, they're appointed deputy clerk, but they're an employee,
Right.
correct? So I mean, I think we need to
The
clarify.
definition for appointed in this would be the ones that you have to give advice and consent to.
Okay, so only the ones that we give advice and consent to.
That would
Maybe-
be what's the term for appointed would be your advice and consent.
Do we maybe need a
Because other
list?
people, they're not really appointed, they're hired.
Okay,
There's a difference.
do we maybe need a list of what the appointed positions are to like be definitive in here? Or is that overkill?
You could,
A lot of.
there
I-
probably
Yeah,
is,
It's
it
a
is
lot.
a lot of
but you gotta
positions.
realize there's also appointed positions that aren't county-based because a lot of, like cemetery board people get appointed with your advice and consent, but they're not your employees.
Right,
So, I mean, you could request the county executive's office to give you a list of all appointed people that are county employees that you guys have advice and consent over. They should be able to make that up real easy.
okay, and yeah, and I only really want to know if they're treated like an employee, like where they're appointed, but they get sick time, they have to
The,
show up for work
you know what?
certain hours,
I think we need to read this. Sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah.
it says, the county board hereby grants all county employees appointed to a county office a deferral of compensation for accrued sick days. This only applies to a county employee, and I'll just say supervisor of assessments was not a county employee. He worked for Joliet Township before he was the supervisor of assessments. So this is granting county employees appointed to a county office a deferral of compensation for accrued sick days. I'm stuck there. I don't even know what that means, but let me go back to what you just said, Member Newquist. You said the deputy clerk. That's an employee that's appointed to a position. So for that person, they would get a
They appointed, they're hired. They're like, you're hired, right?
you were already an employee. Or no, you were hired to be the deputy clerk?
Yeah, you know,
Yeah,
appointed.
I was hired.
But so then you're a county employee and you were appointed. I don't know. Hold on. I'm going to start with Member Bullock if I can find her number. I'm just a little confused, so go ahead.
I think what this is saying, all this is saying is that when they leave, if they have unaccrued sick days, they can get compensation for them. That's all it's saying.
Okay,
So whether we have them or not, doesn't matter. If we don't have them, there is nothing to compensate us for.
got you. Thank you.
That's all it's saying.
I didn't finish the sentence. I
It's
just got
okay.
all hung up on county employee appointed. Member Williams, hold on, I'm trying to find you. Nope, you're 7. Go ahead, Member Williams.
Okay, and mine was similar, but I think in order to accrue sick leave, you would have to be an employee, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be accruing anything.
Correct.
So
Okay. Member Butler, did that clear it up or do you
Yeah,
have more?
I just thought we're all considered employees. We're like elected officials are part-time employees and the rest of them are full-time employees, like, so when. Did I say that? Okay, I'm just saying, in general, we're considered employees because we're getting paid, but,
But we don't get.
I
any
think that's
sick-
just a general term that they're just using describing it,
Yeah,
so.
but I don't believe any elected official accrues sick days.
No,
So taking out the word elected is
is
good. Sorry, I
appropriate.
didn't mean to beat that dead horse.
No,
I just
no.
didn't understand what the section meant. Okay,
I got it. I got a quick question.
anything else? Yes, go ahead.
So Phil, would this supersede any CBA?
No, CBA's by state statute supersede
Okay.
these provisions. But What that provision we talked about basically was, it allows people to accumulate, so it's not a use it or lose it. So if you don't use your 1 sick day a month or 12 a year, at the end of your year, you don't lose those 12. You can accrue them, and that's what that provision says the county board's
So-
giving authority.
So if you're here for 20 years, you can get paid for 244 sick days?
There's a
Or whatever?
maximum, and I don't know what it is.
There is a max. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've known lots
Oh,
of.
it's right there, 240, it's up there.
Yeah, I knew a lot of deputies that were working undercover that had 4,000 hours of comp time, and when they went back to the road, they lost like almost all of it and only had 120, because that's all you can have.
Well, I know when I retired from teaching, I got 2 years, same
Yeah.
as you, right?
Right.
We got 2 years of sick.
Yeah, but there, it is limited.
Was that 360?
One other question, in 36.020 vacations and holidays. I know, Mr. Mock, we talked about this when we met. Did we renumber the listed holidays with Roman numerals?
Let me look.
On the page.
No,
I don't have page numbers.
no, it did not.
They're supposed to be, according to your system, when we were talking, we decided that because they came after a small letter B, they were supposed to be Roman.
No,
numerals.
what I did is I
Maybe
made them,
not.
no, what I switched it instead of Roman numerals
Uh-huh.
is the letter without the parentheses around it with a period.
Okay,
So it's 1 period, 2 period, 3 period, like that.
okay, that's what you want.
Instead of the
Okay.
Roman numerals,
Okay.
just, it's a separate numbering system, but I hate to say it, I'm not sure how good everybody is on Roman numerals nowadays.
No problemo, sir. I know you and I talked about
Right.
that some months back, and I wanted to make sure that it was the way it's supposed to be. Does anybody else have anything else for this chapter?
Thanks.
I know I'm checking all my notes now. I don't have anything else. So I think we're okay to take a motion to approve as amended.
Oh, I got
Oh.
36.036,
036, grant funded employment.
page 20.
Okay,
It says, I sign your name. It says the statement of acknowledgement. Is that a written statement or is that a verbal statement?
That is, I sign your name. It used to say I blank, and I thought it was recommended to say sign your name, so it'll be like I, Philip Mock, acknowledge.
mhm.
Are you saying this out loud or are you writing this down?
No, it's written down.
And it's not, I mean, it's like a sworn oath to me. We're not like verbally saying this, you're writing it down.
No, they write it down. They sign it.
They signed
It's
it.
a signed
It's a written
statement.
statement.
It's a written
Then-
statement, thank you.
Yeah, they give them a written statement that says you recognize if this grant goes, your
Your
job goes.
Perfect.
Yeah, it is in writing. Member,
Now, do you think it's appropriate? Should we
Freeman.
put sign your name in parentheses there? I just put, all right,
mhm. Could say insert. name.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you're.
Go ahead. Member
Okay,
Freeman.
so I don't know how many times I've been through this darn thing and I just noticed I missed another one.
Mhm.
36035, membership of elected officials in retirement fund. In our notes, after the number 600, we had a dash to 1,000.
Mhm.
Are we supposed to have that in here? It says, my notes say 600 to 1,000 if first eligible to 2010, getting exact date.
It was changed to 1,000 hours.
I thought
Ours says 600 hours.
My copy has the 600 struck out and read 1,000.
But it's supposed to be 600 to 1,000.
no,
They changed the system to 1,000 some years ago.
600 to 1,000, you got 600 a month.
So Phil, I'm just,
I think we should change it to 1,000 because it's going
Okay.
forward.
Mhm.
I missed that. It should be 1,000
Yeah,
there.
you had it as 1,000 at one
Phil,
point, because
I've
that's the
missed
copy
it.
I have.
Yeah.
I have missed it so many times. And then
Yes.
I was looking and there it was.
No, that one
So,
should say 1,000, because that's talking about new elected officials going forward.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, my copy is very clear. It has 1,000 in red.
Yeah.
Somehow it got changed back, but
Yeah,
You didn't get the new ones.
I didn't print off the new
I
ones
just
yet.
printed these this morning.
yeah, I got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Jackie, you and I are old school and I like my copies.
Mhm.
Kim actually printed the new ones for me. I picked them up on Thursday of last week.
Yeah.
And
No, I
they're all
have my
the
old
red
ones.
lined and it is so handy.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, Tim.
No, I print mine at home in color. Okay,
That was me.
anything else? Chapter 36?
And if anybody wants theirs in color, I ask that you ask me to do it. You, I believe we, I think I did yours, your two, and then I got a call from Ms. Newquist, and we were able to do that today as well. But if you do want them, please contact me so that I have time to do them, because we have only one color copier that's kind of slow.
Member Newquist.
So where does the supervisor of assessments fit in all of this? Because he's
That
not,
was kind of my question.
you know, I mean, where, is he an employee? Is he?
No, it's
appointed.
an appointed position.
Right?
You didn't create that position. It is, let me back up.
Mhm.
Years ago, you created that position. Since that time, the state statutes have changed and made a position called that created statewide. So the state creates that position. It's like the highway commissioner, supervisor of assessments. It's not created by you. It's created by the state, and and they get appointed by the executive with your advice and consent. And their duties are not set out by you. Their duties are set out by state statute in the revenue code.
So are they treated like an employee in terms of benefits and IMRF, or are they treated like an elected official where they don't have set hours,
They're-
they don't get
Their,
sick time?
their duties are set out by state statute. They're not treated like an employee. Rhonda Novak was because she had a contract
Right,
that
I
treated her like
understand
an
that.
employee.
But so do they qualify for IMRF?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but we don't need to specifically
No, because they're
state
all-
that in
no,
here
because
because
they
they're
are-
not an elected official.
They
Got it.
are, they are not. They are appointed and state statute says they're IMRF because they are considered a county employee.
Got it. Thank you.
All right,
I noticed one again. Oh my
Uh-oh.
gosh, Mike, I'm right there with you.
where you at?
36.019 overtime. And if you, point 019 overtime, page 10, if you get page numbers on there. And I'm sure the sheriff's department has a CBA that covers everybody. Correct, Bill?
Yes, well, they have multiple.
So C says employees of the sheriff's department shall be compensated for blah, 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 blah. Since we specifically wrote in there what they're compensated for, we should probably add training.
I don't know if they get extra compensation for training or if it's part of their on-time duties.
But it does state
Very-
employees covered by a collective bargaining agreement shall be paid pursuant to the terms of the
Well, that's
agreement.
what I assume, but I don't know why we listed court appearances, inquests, pretrial conferences on their off time. Because they do train on their off
Because-
time.
'Cause
Well,
they don't control that schedule. And neither does their management. They're controlled by an outside force.
I got that language from the sheriff's department. I don't know where it came from.
They don't want to put training in there, okay?
Well,
No,
these things are all out of the hands of the sheriff.
Bottom line though, it says covered by
Right,
their collective.
their
Well,
bargaining.
yeah,
agreement.
and, well, that's why I asked if
Right.
everyone's covered by this. If everyone's covered by the CBA, then this is a moot point. I don't care,
But management's not covered by this CBA.
So like if someone,
Yeah,
yeah, and you know as well as I do, they train in their off time all the time.
but I'm sure they're compensated.
I don't know about that.
again, the undersheriff gave me the language and that's what I used.
It's not their
Yeah.
job.
You want us to check on that
I
or?
mean, I just,
Yeah.
if Bill's okay with that. then
No, I think we're okay because it does say employees covered by a
By
collective
bargaining.
bargaining shall be paid. That's the catch-all for
Mhm.
anything we didn't put in.
Right.
Works for me.
Okay, anything else? Going once, going twice, 3 times, 4 times? Anybody want to make a motion?
Motion as amended, go to executive session.
Motion by
Newquist.
Freeman, second by Newquist, previous by Bullock,
Second previous Logan.
second previous by Mr. Logan, all in favor.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign, motion carries. We are moving on to chapter 37. Scary, I lost my paper.
So all of these have been as amended, correct?
Right.
Yes,
They're all.
yes, all as amended.
Okay, on 37,
Yes, see, on this chapter, you wrote the word repealed.
right,
Here,
I
or at
did
least on
catch it.
this version.
right, and I will on the other one.
Okay,
All right, so Phil, I'm sorry.
Sure.
yeah, go ahead.
So Phil, I got a quick question, and this is more housekeeping than anything. For instance, this would be the first page at the very bottom. When these get put up, they're on a continuous roll. It's not pages, right?
Right, these pages are for us.
But like when someone goes and reads it, it's just a continuous roll. There isn't like page.
Just scroll
Right, no,
down.
what you read is it's got section numbers. If you
Okay,
go to the county clerk's website, the published code of ordinances just have section numbers. They don't have pages. These pages are stricken off of the final version you pass at the county board. It has no page numbers.
Mhm.
okay, so maybe I'm not clarifying. So it's just one roll. It's just, they can just scroll it, right?
Yes, it's a scroll.
And the reason I asked that is because at the very bottom where it says 37.03 special funds, and then it goes to the next page. My wife and I, we have a publishing company, and that is just like a taboo no to do. So I would just like put a space in there to make it go to the next page.
Oh, I usually try to do that in the completed copy that's
All
not
right,
the struck through.
all right. It's just
No, I try to keep sections together.
because I see orphans, widows, and runts everywhere on this page, and it just drives me nuts.
Oh, yeah, there will be, but these are the working
Okay.
versions. The
That's what I
final,
figured, because when I look at it, it's just one big continuous roll.
yeah, yeah, but
It
it's,
is-
no, they have separations and that type of stuff, and I try to keep, if it's near the bottom of a page, I'll drop it down half a page
Thank
to
you.
get to the beginning of the next
you.
one.
My OCD kicks in a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's helpful to have.
All right, some of the
Sometimes.
changes from Micah's review on page 3706, which is page 19 on that version, but it's 3706. It was suggested, and I 100% agree. If you look up at, under section D1, where it talks about county general funds get distributed by the clerk's money, and it said CASA fund, I'm gonna put in parentheses after that, court-appointed special advocate. That's what CASA stands for, although the auditor and treasurer just calls it the CASA fund. But that's what it's for. And then farther down under two, A in parentheses, the number 1 and the number D, where it says CASA fund, I'm gonna do the exact same thing and put court-appointed special advocate there, just so they know what it is.
Mhm.
Now, do you think we need it in both of them, or is it enough to just put it in the top one? What do you guys think? I don't care.
Technically, shouldn't they write, court-appointed, special advocate, and then in parentheses, put CASA?
No, because the name of the fund is CASA. If you go to the auditor and say, I want to look at the court-appointed special advocate fee, they're going to say, what?
They don't
It
know
has its own name.
No, I just meant like normally, like when you're writing, you usually write the name once, and then you put the
Right.
the abbreviation in brackets, and then it should be good for the rest of the writings. That's the way I always understood it.
No, you're right, Member Butler, but I think it's different in this case because of what member.
Because it's a word
Mr.
of
Mock
art.
said, because-
Believe it or not, that an acronym is a word of art.
Yeah, they use it as a word.
So I guess if you put it, if you have it explained once, you probably don't need to explain it.
Yeah, I would say just.
Yeah,
do it
I-
Just
once
do it
is
at the
good.
top line, all right.
Because I see it
Yeah.
in numerous places.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, we'll just do it on the one, thanks.
yeah.
And then, if we go down on page 13 under 706, or number 13, sorry, page 28.
Get all this grad. Holy.
Yeah, I know, it hurts my eyes.
I know what this is, it was worse when you go through all the strikeouts, when the state simplified these fees, it did make it a little easier.
And you're gonna fix all the indents, because there's
Yeah.
all those.
Yeah.
Right.
It's- Oh my gosh.
It is a mess.
What number are we at?
3607, number 13.
28.
Oh, wait.
Mhm, Schedule.
You see?
28.
If you look at page 28,
Mhm.
under C, it's like the last page.
7.
Must be 27. Yeah. okay.
Yeah, 27 on some of yours, but the last page under big C in parentheses. the last part of that sentence, I was told to change and I forgot. It says, the proceeds of all fees enacted under this paragraph C shall be collected by the circuit clerk and turned over to the Will County Treasurer to deposit it in the court's judicial department facility construction fund. That should be a period, and the rest of that should be lined out. I was told to do that and I forgot because our jail's already built.
3 different people touch the money. I love it.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's all electronic.
So, and I asked them, what do you do with that fund? And they said, well, that's for repairs, and they still have that fund. But it doesn't go for building of it. It goes for the maintenance and the, save money for the roof for when they need it and that kind of stuff.
And to fix the panels that are falling off the building.
Yeah. But that needed to been struck.
Okay.
And then I think that was all the changes I had from that.
I'm just curious, this
Sure.
money that they put into a special fund, can it be used for like the juvenile detention center or?
No.
No, has to be for the court.
All the special fund monies can only be used for what the statutes authorize. We don't have the ability, the state has, to do fund sweeps until we eliminate the fund. If we eventually eliminate the fund because
We don't need it.
we don't need it, it can go to general fund because you're not collecting it going forward. But you can't collect it for one purpose and transfer to another.
But this county judicial department facilities construction fund, money in there could be used for River Valley, right? Because it is a construction fund for the judicial department. And River Valley is a part of the judicial department, as far as I know. There's judges there in a courtroom.
I'd have to look at the state statute to see if that fund includes that type.
Can you find out?
Yeah.
That would be good for us to know.
See if it includes that type or if it only includes adult facilities.
Yeah, because it doesn't say county's adult judicial department facilities construction.
No,
fund.
but it does have a word of, it does have it's a term of art,
Okay,
and I gotta look at the state statute.
okay, thank you.
Because I know that they do have, at the juvenile detention center, they do have their own courtrooms there. So I thought that would fall under the same judicial. So I was just curious. Thank you.
So this is more of a style thing than anything else, and
Mhm.
the answer is probably no. But is there any way that we could put all this in like a grid, where you have the schedule, how much goes here, someone, what I mean, like a
Like a spreadsheet.
spreadsheet? I mean, it would be so much easier
Well,
to
if
read
you
and
look,
maintain.
You mean on all the red stuff?
well, where they struck it out, they had it in one version. Where I got this from is when the county board adopted the new state applied the new state statute that said all these old fees are gone, these are the new fees going forward.
Uh-huh.
I got a copy of what was passed from the circuit clerk's office because they obviously care about where their collected funds go to. And that was the format that you guys did and already passed, and that's why it's in that format. So there's no requirement to have any specialized format. I merely used the one the county board already used.
Got it.
But he's gonna fix that wraparound so that it's
Yeah.
indented in and not starting a new,
It does look so much better.
yeah. Because I can
than the
see,
Original one.
Yeah,
I
that'll
just looked
help.
at Phil's just now when he held it up and it goes across all in one sentence. Oh, yes, go ahead, Member Bullock.
So I get that. And if we leave it that way, okay. I'm just looking at the repetitiveness of the different places the money is going. And can see a spreadsheet that would just have all of those across the top and the actual thing over here and where all the money goes. Because that spreadsheet would be a lot easier to change when these funds change than to do this again.
Well, if he can make it all fit on a 8.5 by 11.
Yeah, that is true. That-
Well,
You'd have to do it the
might be-
long way.
Might be doing paid for each schedule.
yeah, you can do landscape
We
too.
could just have it as an attachment, or a chart or whatever, however you.
And part of this is also the way, I think it's in the state statute,
Oh,
because you
okay.
had to pass what the state statute
Right.
told you to pass.
Exactly.
But,
Well, we're not changing the language of it, just the format of it,
right.
right?
Well, if he does that, we probably ought to revisit it next committee and not move this chapter forward. Because I'm guessing you'd want to look at it before we
Oh, yeah, you
go
would.
forward.
If that'd be-
Member Butler? Member Newquist?
Oh, no, I just,
Okay. Well, I'm willing to take input. Do you guys want to wait another month on this chapter? So that we have better formatting? Go ahead.
Let me ask Phil, do you think that's even possible, or is it too unwieldy to try to format it that way?
You can probably format it any way you would like to format it. And it'll probably get stripped out and put back this way because that's what the circuit clerks used to using. And that's where they have charts of these fees, and this is their charts of these fees. So when I file a felony DUI case and here's the money where the fees go to, this is what they look at to do it from.
All right, well, then I don't want to make extra work if they're just
Yeah, I was
gonna
gonna-
wanna,
I was
but
gonna
it's a
say
good
that
idea.
I would not want to change the format, to a spreadsheet, only because I like to see everything uniform. But,
No, I understand it is unwieldy, but this is, the people that are on the ground doing it at the clerk's office, this is what
What they use.
Okay.
that's what they use.
Member Freeman?
I have to agree that I'm not sure this would be a good idea to try to reformat it. I think it would be lovely if could be possible on like a website or something for individuals, but there's a lot of wording after each dollar sign.
Mm-hmm.
And to put that on, like you said, an 8x11.5.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's gonna fit the way we would like to see it fit.
I think it looks better than it did. And once we get the wraparound fixed, I think it's gonna look even.
Yeah,
exactly.
that'll make it look
better.
really nice, honestly.
But there's just so many words after each total. I don't know if that would work.
Member Logan, did you want to say something else?
Oh, yeah, I got three things. Somewhere in there, I saw a public act with a bunch of letters in it. I'm trying to look for it now, but because usually public acts are 3 numbers, dash, and 3 numbers, right?
They're usually 2 numbers, a dash, and a bunch of numbers.
No, I don't.
It's like,
red.
it'll
all
have
the
2
red's
numbers, a
getting
dash, and
blurry.
3 to 4 numbers.
It's getting blurry. But I did notice on page 21, 5 schedule, problem solving courts fund is $1S.00. So I'm sure that's just a typo.
Yeah, that's supposed to be 15.
What's the number? Cause mine.
On page 21, it's number under 5, schedule 5. And then number A is the clerk shall collect, and you go down to number 1 E,
Oh, right.
and then Roman numeral 2, and that should be a 5, not an S.
And it should be 00, not 00.
Yeah, and that should be 00.
It sure is an S. Wow.
I'm just looking at the one that's online, right?
Yeah, I don't know what
Yeah, and
happened,
then
but
it's
that's right.
2 O's instead of 2 zeros. Yeah, you're right.
And I know how that happened. When they sent it to me and I scanned it into mine,
Mhm,
the
and
scan
turned it.
program changed it, and my eyes didn't catch it.
Yep.
And then page 13, I don't know what it's even under, but it's in the middle, like towards the top of the page, 3 schedule. Do we have to put something to actually no dollars?
They have it in there. I
Really?
don't know why.
It says $0.
No, I understand that, but that
Schedule
is
where?
under schedule 4.
Oh, schedule 4.
On page 13?
On page 13, yeah.
That's in the state statute, $0. That's just so they know you don't pay for that. If it's,
It feels good looking something $0.
What is?
What is it under? It's under civil fees, then you got schedule 1, then you got schedule 2,
schedule 3, schedule 4.
then schedule 4.
Oh,
And schedule 4 is things that you don't have to pay a fee for, like an order of protections, a schedule 4 order. They don't want to charge women that are getting beat up by their husbands to have to come to court for relief. That has,
Men
those
beat up by
or
their wives.
vice versa, right? But that's why they have it in there. And again, that's what the clerk uses to operate.
Go to Schedule 1A, letter number 3, Circuit Court Clerk. It does not say clerk. It says all kind of weird other word in my
Where's that?
copy. Maybe
Where?
you've fixed it. It's same area, Schedule 3. I'm sorry, Schedule 1, letter A, number 3. It should say Circuit Court Clerk, Operation and Administrative Fund.
Oh, I got you.
It doesn't say clerk.
Gotcha. No, mine says CIERI with a weird thing.
Yep.
Oh, mine says Siri. Yeah.
Yeah,
That.
With a less than sign.
Yeah, you're in the wrong section, maybe, Sherry.
look, it's on page 13 of the one I sent out.
That's funny.
We were talking about Schedule 4,
It's-
$0. Go down below that.
Oh, yeah. That's why we do this.
Yeah,
I still haven't found that public act that's all messed up.
Well, let's keep looking for
I'll
it.
look
It's on the
through.
wrong number 1.
Yeah, I know that. I did that too.
I can't search this with this.
I gotta,
Page 13, you found it?
I got it.
Page 13.
Oh, okay, what number? Hold on. Turn on your mic, please. Dawn, hit your button.
Where this is?
Hit your button.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Is that
now,
what you
where
want?
are we?
Page 13.
Mhm.
If you start at the top, look for the C that starts the new section. Schedule 1. That's 1, and then A, and then number 3 under that. Kind of the middle of the page.
Oh, yeah, that's the one we just found.
Yeah.
Clerk.
That's
Yeah.
one, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's the one I,
I thought you
is
hit
there
a new
another
one.
one?
Oh,
I-
Thought you had a new one.
Oh, you
find this public act.
Is that your public act you're looking for?
No.
all the public acts in there should be a 100 dash.
Well, it's 100 dash something, well, it's like 5B4 or
Yeah.
something. I'm like, that.
It should be 987. I'll catch it.
It's in there.
That must be in, because they're all citing that one, because that's when the state law changed and said you gotta change all your court fees.
Oh, here's Public Act, but not
Oh,
anything
yeah,
weird.
that's right. I don't know where it's at.
All right, I'll look for that, though.
Here's another one. What exactly is wrong with it now?
Instead of,
100 dash, I think it was like.
it's got
9B
gibberish
something.
instead of the numbers.
Oh.
When again, when I scanned it, I didn't catch it.
It's just a Scrivener's error, so it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get it. I'll
Okay,
find it.
I found it. Okay, I don't know what page this is, but it's next to the last page. Yeah, under Schedule 12, number 1, all the way down under letter E. I don't know what is supposed to probably be 987.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 109.87.
Oh, there it is right there. Oh my gosh, that's all messed up. No, it's all jacked
It
up.
was near the end.
Yeah,
Yeah, and our page is page 27 in the middle, or upper middle. Thanks, Jackie. I knew I saw it zipping through.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's supposed to be 987 instead of B7.
okay. You see, your eyes, I've played some of these word games, man. Your eyes can make something seem totally logical and it's not.
Micah, we actually published a book, 20,000 copies, and it had 2 spelling errors in it, so sometimes you just look what, you just
You see what you want to see.
see what you want to see.
And that's not
They
just
look the
in,
same.
Like she just said, my mind just said, that's a B.
That-
Yeah.
Or an A.
That's your
Yep.
mindset, it's an 8.
That's why you.
and that's why it's really hard to count on eyewitnesses to things because they see what they want to see.
And that's why you read bottom up.
Yep.
And
All right.
again, I asked what that Public Act 109.87 general fund is,
Mhm.
and they gave me the answer. That's the name of the fund.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Okay.
Okay.
thanks.
All right.
That, the state called it that name.
So do we want to move forward with this one?
There, so that's why it was easy for me.
You had some notes in there you wanted him to come back.
Yeah, but I don't know that we
They're-
Send on the last one too, you wanted him to come back with something else.
just, but it'll come to executive, any of the questions. Yeah. Yeah.
So on that same thing, does it go from E to I? I mean, where it says follows and then I
No,
public.
but it's not I, it's number 1. Roman numeral.
Oh, got it. And then we'll fix the indentation.
Right.
Okay, I missed that. Thank
And,
you.
and again, on all the indentations, I'll move them over under the not the
Mhm.
letters, but under the, you know, where the words start.
Yeah. Ooh. I just saw something that I hadn't seen before. Oh, well, no, maybe we have used it. Do we use bullet points sometimes?
I don't think-
Everything- I thought you always use numbers. I'm seeing
No.
bullet points on one of the pages and I'm like, where did those?
I
come
usually
from?
don't.
Okay, well, they're here. Let me see where we are. We're, schedule 2
Go at the beginning.
under.
Oh, there's right there, filing a
civil
claim,
fees. Yeah,
filing a claim, probate filings. On our thing, it's page 17 at the bottom.
there's
That's-
bullet points
Good catch.
Oh, yeah.
and there's.
Oh,
it's
no,
in
they
two
shouldn't be there.
sections. It's in 2 sections,
I don't know how,
under number 10 and number 16.
that is, I don't know why that's there. I'll take it out because that was there on the previous one you passed.
And then on D, you actually have I and two in a sentence instead of bulleted out.
I didn't see D yet.
Right on the, right in there, what you just had, the filing a claim, right here. So you got A, you got I and two. So those should be
That I didn't catch.
indented out, right?
Where are you at?
You know where the bullets are?
On 17.
Yeah, go down, that's B, go to D. Like,
Yeah,
down.
under number 16D,
Shouldn't that be I and I?
should those
I?
be indented? 16D, where it's
Oh, I see.
16T on page 7.
Look at page 18.
page 18.
At the top, it says D, there shall be no fee for filing an appearance of. And
Any person.
yeah, we should move those two underneath like we did the other two.
Just to-
Okay,
just to make it
move
look-
those two, fix the bullet points. Keep
Right.
looking, everybody, there's gotta be something else.
We went to start and just kind of.
Yeah, look at each page.
Yes, 'cause we
Yeah,
find them.
that's how I'm finding this, by the way. I did that, like,
All right, so here's another question for you. Oh my gosh. So Phil, if you go down, now if we're on that same section and you go to unpaid fees, that's F.
Yes.
You go down a little bit farther, now A gets bumped all the way back out. So-
37.06.
See how A is already bumped out here?
oh,
So-
37.06, yeah.
So do you have like, yeah, uppercase, Roman numeral, lowercase, Roman numeral? How we doing it?
How we doing it
He
is,
has a chart.
yeah, he did a chart and sent it to everybody, but I don't have it in front of me right now. I think we do, the number one thing we do is a large alphabet in parentheses. Then we do numbers in parentheses. Then we do, I think letters, not in.
Lowercase letters.
Lowercase
In parentheses.
in parentheses. Then we do numbers without parentheses.
And then we do letters without.
Then we do
parentheses.
letters without parentheses. Then we do Roman numerals. I'll send it back out to everybody, like,
Oh, if
couple.
that's true,
So,
then I just found some that say 1, 2, 3 in Schedule 1 generic felony offenses.
yes?
Under number 1, well, first the letter, small letter A got indented, 1 space too many, at least on my copy. And then where it says CASA Fund, Problem Solving Courts Fund and Public Act 100-987,
Yeah.
those should be Roman numerals then.
Yes, they should.
I think we should go page by page.
Yeah, let's start at the beginning.
maybe he should just redo this part.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Just let Phil look.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't look like it's ready to go.
No.
So B1 can be B1 or it can be B1. See, that doesn't make any sense to me. I say I've never done it like that before. Each indent is very unique. It's not.
We starting at the beginning of 37.
We can. These,
It's all formatting. It's all
It's-
formatting.
yeah,
Here's what I would recommend. We're good on the language.
yeah.
We have time to
Language.
take it. If you vote to do it as amended, I will send to everybody on the committee
Mhm.
after I do it. And I'm gonna ask you, please send it back to me, any suggestions or corrections. And I'll get that finalized. When it's finalized, I'll send whatever the final version is to everybody on the committee. And then after that, it'll get moved forward to for the executive. Cause it's not going to executive till next month. We got some time.
Right, we got a lot of time.
But that way,
Another Scrivener's error.
sure.
Schedule 4. No, sorry. Shit. Gotta figure out how to read these. Civil fees and criminal assessments, so the first section, right? But go all the way to where we had that page with the bullet points.
Right,
After the first set of bullet points, number 12.
yes.
On the second line, it says maintenance on, and then there's like a dot above the N.
Oh, that shouldn't, it should just say ON. I don't know what that dot's from.
Maybe it was, I don't know.
It says maintained on
And
an
even the
automated.
word on, the two letters are like super close together.
All right, I'll retype it.
Okay.
Well, it was like that because when I scanned it
Yep.
crazy.
No, I get it.
No, I'll admit, I got lazy. Instead of retyping all that, I just scanned it.
Hang on, Dan, you're not on.
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna start with number 5.
Is that crazy?
Okay, on the last page with the D.
No,
there should be a
wait, number
space
8?
between the
Dan?
D and
Oh,
the
yeah.
unpaid.
Oh, yeah. No, I'll read, what I'll do is I'll
And the
retype
last
the whole
page?
thing out.
On, last page, D and unpaid, there should be a space. between-
Oh, yeah, there's no space there. Okay, thank you, Dan. Number 4, Dawn, Ms. Bullock.
I'm sorry, can we go back to, I think, what he was talking about? Because I think I found it and
He has a name.
I don't find it on the page with the. There is a, what? That guy over there. That guy over there, there it is, 13. Okay, so it's on page 13.
We should be having this much fun.
I know, right? It's like, where's Waldo?
Yes, it is.
So number 3, schedule 4, $0. Is that even for anything? What is connected to that?
That's,
What's connected to that are Schedule 4 filings by the circuit clerk.
Mhm.
That's something that's set out by the Illinois Administrative Office of the Courts. And I don't know what they are, but they have it. It's in the state statute. You were told by the state statute, you have to have that in.
Oh, okay.
It was one of those
Okay.
things like the Ethics Act. It said you shall pass it substantially this form.
Because I don't know what I'm getting for free. I'd really like to know what I'm getting for free as a person
I
who
don't
doesn't
think-
have to pay
I don't
for
think
it.
there's
you want-
not much for getting at the courthouse for
You don't
free.
want things we're handing out for free. I can see that.
No, that is true.
Yeah, they are there to collect money to run the government.
Okay. All right.
Schedule 1, schedule 2. All right, so Phil,
But schedule 3 is not, it's not.
that's schedule 4. This is schedule 1.
How did that happen?
No? That's Schedule 1 under a different, should be under a different subsection.
There's C, so should
Yeah.
C be all the way out then, or?
It could be, again, that's the way it was printed, but it's there. Each one of them sections, A, B, and C have multiple schedules under them.
Okay.
C is for civil actions, one's for criminal actions, one's for, and they have different schedules under those.
And this, you scan this right from the state?
No, I scanned it from what you guys passed last time.
A million years ago.
And what you passed and again, I got that from the circuit clerk. And what you did last time was what the state statute told you had to do. Whenever that 100,987 went into effect, it said all our old fees are thrown out the window. You have to use these new fees from now on. And that was probably 8 to 10 years ago.
So you're saying this number 3 should be out here.
Every.
Okay, so here, so Tim, go
Every
all the way
schedule
down. We're gonna
is
do a little schooling here, I think.
Now I can do
Keep going.
it up.
No, keep going down.
Or.
Are we on the last page? How about 20, hit 26?
26,
Right here, hit this one. I wish it's
27.
Never mind. Okay, that's different, but never mind. Okay, mine looks different.
Okay, okay, well, member Freeman's got one too. Go ahead.
I am on the thinking process that we should have this back here,
Well, these mostly Scrivener's errors.
just because there's so many, and I'm worried that we're gonna get to executive and they're gonna just send it back anyway.
Yeah, there is that, but we do have a month to continue to communicate with Phil because this won't be on the executive committee agenda until June, regardless of what we do
So we
today.
will have
And
to
again,
do
the
very
words
diligent
and the
things.
values are what's more important than the format
Right.
to pass.
Right. Member Newquist.
I just noticed this, sorry. Go to page 14. it says, there's only 2 lines on there.
Right.
Supreme Court Special Purposes Fund, and then $90 to be remitted under C, $90 to be remitted to the county treasurer and distributed as follows, and
don't
there's
see that?
nothing
I got it.
underneath
That's
as
because
follows.
that's what you guys passed before.
Nothing?
That's what it was. I'll double check from the clerk to see if they know where that goes to, and I'll check with the treasurer.
Then if
And I'll-
it's just going to the treasurer, do we maybe need to say and distributed or just remitted to the county treasurer, period, or and distributed into, it's gotta go into some fund, right?
Well, it lists on the next page the Public Act Fund.
Oh, yeah, that should have not, yeah, that should have got pushed up.
Oh, okay, so
That's where I
that-
didn't break it correctly.
That go, okay,
no
got
idea where
it.
you
So
guys
that should go to the previous, now it makes
Right, I
sense.
should have had that one when I switched to page 14.
Thank
Started
you.
it at D.
Oh, you're way past that.
I don't have page numbers on mine. I have the old one still.
See, this is what I was talking about. Tim. Here, go ahead here.
And just so you know, not to violate the Open Meetings Act, I will be sending them all to you, one person at a
Oh.
time.
Oh, that's weird.
So you follow this one.
I'll have you CC'd on every one. What it'll be, each one will go to you, Chuck, and then the CC will go to them one at a time. I'll do like,
Oh, yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Never mind. Good catch. Right. Good catch, good catch.
I don't like doing that because then they can say I'm violating Open Meetings Act because I'm talking business with the majority of a quorum. But if you send them one
Is this
by
what-
one, you're
Yeah,
not.
yeah, those should.
I mean, it's craziness under the law, but that's how we get around it.
Or do we need to tell him?
No, he'll see that.
Okay.
You'll see that 6 and 7.
6 and 7 need to be indented
Oh,
on
no,
page
I'm
15.
gonna reset up all the indents.
Okay.
I got lazy and I'll just retype it manually and set it up the way I want to set it up. Instead of try to force it after I scanned it.
Right.
That was hard.
It is hard because the computer won't let you sometimes.
Correct.
It's already got its formatting set and you can't clear it. I've tried.
Yeah, so I'll just retype it.
What goes here then? Of the family? Oh, you know what? Go down. I bet you that's another one where they, oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah, okay, never mind.
No, I'll just retype it. I'll retype it the way I want to retype it.
I like that.
This is a page break that should not. This should be under this.
I think, well, these are just typos, so.
Yeah.
I'll check for those.
This makes it very hard to read.
Well, no, there's just a space missing.
Oh.
And if he retypes it and looks at it
No, I'll
again.
just I'm gonna reset it up and retype it.
See.
So Phil, it lists all these, is there an administrative toll fee in here somewhere?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
I know
Not
we do
under
it.
this.
I know we do it.
Yeah, but
do
it's
it.
not under this.
Where would it be?
Oh. Where would that be? at?
There's another fee thing that talks
Yeah,
about
we-
that.
we talked
These
about
are just
that.
circuit court fees. These are just court
Well, I
fees.
saw, okay, I saw, oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, just court fees, nothing else.
Well, it's just the court and a county law library, which state statute, those two are put sort of together.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so I'm getting the feeling people don't want to move this forward.
We can wait, it don't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's not going anywhere.
Sure.
This is being used right now, right?
Yeah,
All this, yeah, so it's not. that's
no,
Yeah.
we're not changing any dollars.
Okay, so we're gonna start with chapter 37
Right,
next month.
right. But I'm still gonna do it all and send it all to you individually to get this right, because
June.
if we get this right, we can just come up and pass that real fast at our
Super
next
quick.
meeting and start working on the next ones.
Because if
Okay.
you email it to us, we'll all look at it, so we can just say,
Right,
she can just motion right away.
Yeah,
yeah, and we can do that one, and then we can put more in depth to the other sections.
I think we have time to do chapter 38 though, if you guys wanted to. It's just like
fine.
3 pages.
Okay.
And then maybe we can call it quits at that point. 38 is public records.
And these,
Well,
There's only-
again,
there's only
it's
3
3
pages.
pages
There's only-
and it's really only 2 pages and a couple sentences, so.
And again, these fees, I double checked with the
There's nothing even in there.
recorder's office.
Yeah, it's
There's
just
no
different
rec.
fee changes.
Yeah, there's nothing.
It's fee changes and, state statute
We could do-
sites, references.
Two if you want, there's like 4 pages.
Anyway, I'll take a motion to move this one forward if somebody
I'll
wants.
motion to move it to executive with amendments or changes.
I
No,
don't think this one had any changes.
no,
Just the
nothing
red,
that
just the
we've
red.
made in committee.
Just
Oh,
the
yeah.
red, just the red.
Yeah, do we have to say as amended, Phil?
No, because
I'll look
this
into it.
is what you're passing with these changes
Right,
in it.
that are
As
already there.
amended were changes on top of these changes.
Never mind,
Okay,
I was on 39.
okay,
I'll still
so
make a motion to pass. it.
motion for 38 to move it forward to executive.
This is 38.
8.
38 by Mr. Logan, second by member Freeman. Previous Bullock, second previous Newquist. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, chapter 39. Also, just 3-4 pages. Oh, now this we were talking about in executive committee last week. About contracts and stuff, and they wanted to have some language in there. To allow us to give preference to anybody within a 50-mile radius of Will County if their bids were the same as or tied. I mean, is this the same section?
Yeah,
Oh, sorry, I gotta turn you on. What's your button? Go ahead.
I think, Phil, if I'm correct, that ordinance, if it were to pass on Thursday at the county board, it would be placed into this section here.
it'll
somewhere.
probably go right into
Okay.
3901, right?
So
we
that's-
Might want to hold off, see if it gets passed and we can include it in it.
Yeah, we can just quit a little bit early today. I'm okay with that.
40 is 14 pages long.
Well, we're gonna have something good and juicy next time.
It's fiscal affairs, so.
And I'll be able to make it on time to Rotary if we quit, I know. Okay. All right, I think we should wait and see what they do with the ordinance at the full county board. And then we can, Phil will then have that. He can insert it in here and give us a brand new copy for next month.
So Phil, you just want us to download the ones that are on the website the morning of. That's the.
What
most
I will,
recent-
I will send them all directly to you. What I do is I'll leave these tomorrow, probably Thursday. I'll have another one of these and a clean copy. The other one of these will have a date of, instead of May 1st, it'll be like whatever 2 days from now's date is. That'll be the updated ones for the ones with the strikeouts. And I'll have clean copies. I'll send one to every one of you. I send them to, Chuck and Jackie and Sandy. And I will send to those three, not you, resolution to pass it, the resolution to adopt it that goes forward. And those will get sent out. Now, for the ones we're working on, chapter 37, I will get that retyped and send it to all of you individually. Again, what's going to happen is Chuck's going to get, 10 copies of it, because I'll send it to Chuck with the attachment. And then I'll CC one of you one at a time on each one of them. And you'll have this version done.
Okay.
If the county board gets that passed, I'll do the same thing with chapter 39 county policies and add that language into it. And it'll all be ready for you for the next meeting. And they'll all have, since your next meeting's June, all those things going forward will have a June 1st date on, even if I give them to you in May, because at the June meeting,
That's what we're gonna discuss.
that's the ones we're gonna work at.
All right, so I just want to recap a little bit. Sending to the executive committee, and I think Sandy has this all down. Chapter 34 as amended, chapter 35 as amended, chapter 36 as amended, chapter 38 as amended.
Right.
Right, but there was no amendments as
Right,
we had.
yeah, but just, that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
So, and then we're gonna start our next committee meeting to
With
approve
30.
chapter 37. Hopefully it'll have all of the little boo-boos taken care of, and we're gonna,
no,
no. 37 has all the scriveners he wants to retype.
I just want to redo
So
it. Give
we're
us
gonna
more time.
start our next committee with chapter 37, and then we'll go to chapter 39, because we think there's gonna be some changes in 39.01. And those changes would be incorporated into here. So whatever you have on 39 now will probably not be what we're gonna be discussing. So you're definitely gonna want to make sure that you check your email for the update. And that, I think, covers
then-
everything we did today, unless Vince.
No,
has-
no, and then 42 and 43 are very short, so we'll probably get
We
through all
might
of
get
that.
through all of them and have
Yeah.
Article 3 done.
Yeah,
So in Article 5, I sent out to all the various branches of government that applies. I got back from everybody. I got one of the chapters. I'm waiting for land use to get back to me.
Okay.
And as soon as they get back to me, I will send that out to you too, only just so you have it for review. Not that we're gonna deal with it in
right
January,
away, right.
but I wanted you to have it, just because the more time you have it, the better for you.
Yep, absolutely. Do we have any other old business? No new business. New business? You got something?
Yeah, I just want to know what the status was on, chapter 31.
It's going to the executive committee Thursday.
Okay, because I know that we had met on chapter 31 and I had offered a lengthy addition to that, but I didn't see that in any of the notes here. So I just wanted to know why none of that was included.
I don't think it was voted on in a committee then.
It's never brought up. We had the meeting, I had the talks, I gave that stuff and it wasn't reviewed by the committee after.
Yeah.
There's 31.
Last month.
Mhm. 31 and 32.
33.
No, it didn't go to the full board last month. Last month, the full board passed chapter 10 and chapter 30.
They might have talked about it, but I think I objected and then it got taken down.
You objected at the executive.
Yes,
Mhm.
One.
right.
So
And then
that
it was
vote-
removed from the agenda or they didn't talk about it. And then they just went with all the other stuff.
No, they approved it. the executive.
Yeah, I thought we did.
With your objection, but they approved it.
Yeah,
I didn't remember that because.
yeah, you objected, but it did get approved by the majority of the board that was present. It's on the,
So I would like to propose my changes to this committee just to save time at the board meeting. So I
we
don't,
already passed 31 last month.
not at the board.
It's going to the board.
Yeah, so what'll happen is when the board comes, I'll be, I guess, amending it. And then I'll be asking for an amendment to it.
Well, be sure
I
to
just-
provide your amendment in writing.
I do,
Yep,
and I gave it to you and I gave it to him. And you, Phil was gonna kind of go over it and make sure that none of the stuff conflicted with state statute. It
No.
was a combination of ordinance and county board rules that I was putting into it all in one, so it was more clear.
I was just stating that in terms of if you plan to amend it at the full county board meeting, everybody needs that in writing, your amendment. That's all I was saying.
And then I didn't know if this committee wanted a copy of like what those things were, because then it just might save time before it goes before the board if everybody knows what's going on.
Did you provide copies for us to look at today?
I do have one, I can make copies for it, but like I said, I was actually waiting because I thought Phil was gonna reduce or was gonna
10 and 30.
No,
correct.
that,
We already passed 31 last month
last,
That's
yeah,
on-
last one, 31 got passed the way it was.
by
I
the full
thought.
board. It was,
All I see is 41 for this Thursday.
I'm talking about the
I
county
mean, I've
board
been
meeting.
kind of monitoring, trying to see
10,
like I
30.
didn't miss my
He's
opportunity.
talking about 31.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Okay, let's-
you didn't
No,
get
no,
the
that's good.
Number. But I believe we already passed 31, 32, and 33 at the full board in April. And this month, May,
May, I think you're
May is
redoing,
chapter 10 and chapter
right,
30.
you're redoing 10 and 30. in May.
Yeah, because Mr. Richmond had pointed out some of the errors in there, so we went back through that and corrected the Scrivener's errors. We discussed it at length here in the April meeting. And in the March meeting, I believe, is when we discussed chapter 31, 32, and 33. Those have already been approved by the full board, unless I've totally lost track.
Oh.
Can you look at the, yeah, the chief of staff is checking.
Yeah, 31, 32, and 33 went in.
April to the full board and were approved.
And were approved by the full board.
And I believe Mr. Butler was a no on one, at least one of
No,
them.
it says unanimous.
Oh, then never mind. Ah, what do I know?
It says unanimous.
Yeah, okay, so that's done. I'm not interested in revisiting it. When we finish everything, if you want to bring that to the speaker and say, hey, I'm not happy with this language. I'd really like you to add this to the agenda, give it to the committee again, or bring it to executive, because I assume our committee will be abolished once we get through everything. But yeah, you're welcome to do so. So that was old business. Do we have any other new business? Public comment. Hey, public, come on in and make a comment. Oh, somebody's got a comment. Go ahead, Member Freeman.
Since you pointed it out,
Yes.
I would like to note that the only attendees today were staff and the committee
Committee
members that,
Well, Mr. Van Dyne was here
Mr.
for a
Van Dyne
minute.
was here for a little while.
Yeah.
So if anybody that's listening
It was here for-
has any input, please let us know before we get to
Yeah, no
full board
kidding.
next month.
Before we get to
Thank
full
you.
board. I will say the county executive was in here for a minute. I kind of thought maybe she wanted to say something, but then she left, so.
Currently have no.
No one, no attendees online.
She came in when we were having fun.
Okay, I don't have anything further to report. I think I've gone
We're
through
good.
what we're gonna be doing and what we accomplished and,
I
Yep.
was gonna ask it on,
Oh.
so that,
no, put your microphone on.
you had said that we'd be abolished, but if changes come to the policies, then we need a committee, yes, or
Executive committee would handle
just
it.
do the exec?
Yeah,
okay,
that's,
all
I
right.
mean, because think about it this way. We've had several of these little sections in the chapter come forward, like we're having this month with the bidding, that have come through a different way, not through us.
Right, so it would just be
So it would
approved
just
and
be handled that way going forward. That's what we've
Phil,
always done.
it falls to Phil to put it into the policies? Who does that then?
It just automatically should be done through. I gotta talk to the.
Uh-oh,
County.
somebody turned your mic off. Let me turn it
Back
back.
on. I gotta talk to the county clerk.
Okay,
I don't know if the county clerk still wants to use American Standard Publishing to publish these or not.
okay.
But what happened in the past is anytime you changed one of these code of ordinances, it would get plugged in and switched out. In the code of ordinances, I got a hard copy book. We got several sets at the state's attorney's office. There's one probably in your office, one at the county clerk's. And it gets reprinted, and that's how they get there. It's still a valid ordinance before it gets technically placed into the code of ordinances. But what happens is any of these minor changes, like when you made your land use changes in years past, they're all in those ordinances. What this committee's doing is we're looking at it as a whole thing because the last time it was looked at as a whole entity was 1980.
Oh, okay.
So that's why we're finding so many things that are bad, because you pass things, but you may not necessarily revoke stuff that shouldn't be there statutorily anymore.
We've made
So
changes.
to your knowledge, all the changes that were made it into here or did not?
No, some did not, some do.
So that's what I'm saying. How do we keep
Well, there's
track that we
plenty of
don't end up
things.
like this again?
There's plenty of things you pass that don't go into the code of ordinances. Your resolutions don't necessarily have to go into them.
Correct. No, I'm just talking about anything updated to
Oh,
these
yeah, they've all made,
ordinances. have all made it in here.
Yes, the important, right, your land
Okay.
use, your zoning, that has made it. What should have made it and didn't, and that's why I don't know if it was the county clerk or the American Standard Publishing. Remember I told you that 8 years ago, you did the circuit clerk fees?
Mm-hmm,
Our code of ordinances still said the old ones,
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
even though we passed new ones and revoked the old ones.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to make that match. And then going forward, the system's going to be either the county clerk on their website just keeps the code of ordinances. Cause now with all the Xerox machines, you don't really have to have a publisher publish them.
Right.
And she'll just plug it in, look at the computer and take one out and put one in. Or if they are going to use a publishing, there'll be somebody that's tasked to call that person up and switch it.
Okay, then I would like to make sure that at some point, whether we make it as an addendum or a forward or something, we have in writing how those new ordinances will be dealt with the timeline
Mm-hmm.
and responsibility for inputting them, so we don't have situations where things don't change.
Phil, would we want to
As-
put that in our county board rules, or is that just something that would be assigned to a
No,
staff member?
it'd be something you'd put in the code of ordinances. I agree, and here's why.
Okay,
Since it's your code of ordinances and the
Mhm.
clerk works for you, if you don't, the clerk is your clerk. The county clerk is also the clerk of this body.
correct. Mm-hmm,
You can direct her to do things,
mm-hmm.
not like in her voting area or in her marriage area, but in her
But
county
in
board
this
rule area. You
responsibility.
could say,
Mm-hmm,
I want you to do this
mm-hmm.
going forward.
And we would just put it in our
And we
ordinances.
just put it in your code and then they know we have to do this because 4 clerks from now and 20 years from now or whatever, they know what to do because it's in there.
Right.
But we would add that somewhere.
Okay, Chief of Staff Pelkey.
So just to go to Member Bullock's like concern, if like, for example, when we're talking about this ordinance that may or may not be passed on Thursday, right? In the normal course of things, we're just waiting on this because we're doing this complete overall of the ordinances and you'll wait to get it into the overall. But in the normal course of business, if this were completed and we were just kind of flying solo at that point, this ordinance would get passed at a county board meeting. It would go to the clerk's office and the clerk's office would then insert it into the. into
Right,
the
it would be in the
ordinances, right?
book. They have like all the resolutions, all the ordinances.
And that would be part of the protocol.
What
just
it may or may not be in, it may not be on the website yet, because the website is really linked to American Standard Publishing. So that's why I want
have
to
to
talk
figure out
to
which way
I'm
we're
gonna
gonna
talk
go.
to the clerk to see,
Mhm.
do you want to take this in-house? If you're gonna still use American Standard Publishing, we need to know, have a disclaimer. The Code of Ordinances is effective as of January 1st of each year. There may be modifications, check with the clerk. Or we would have, incur a fee, like every month we did something, we'd send it to American Standard and they'd upload it. We could do it either way.
Okay, all right, well, you'll find out from the clerk what they prefer.
What they prefer, but you don't have to go to their preference. The clerk works for
Right.
you, but it's important for you to know their preference because if they have operational concerns, you have to know that.
Right. No, and that makes sense. I mean, I personally would rather do it in-house,
Yeah,
but, oh, go ahead.
So
Member Nichols.
like along these lines, just to give you guys a heads up, we've made a fair amount of changes to some land use ordinances recently. I don't know if they'll get it by the time we get to the land use ordinances. I don't know if they'll have made their way into what you see. And just so, but also I know next month at land use where I kind of initiated this, we're embarking on a discussion of how to handle temporary use permits. So we might end up making some significant changes along those lines. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up about that.
Mhm.
Remember I talked about for Article 5 coming up, I sent out to the affected
Mhm.
people. 2 of the sections involve land use. One was solid waste and I forgot what the other one was. But when we get to that section, it's way near the end. It's like 13 or 11 or something. Then I go give them what we have
Mhm.
and say, please fix this and show me what it's supposed to be. And then they send it back to me.
Right,
And then I'll provide to you whatever's current at that time.
right.
And that's how I do it with all the sections.
Mhm. Okay, anything else? Uh-oh, we got another light. Go ahead, Member Freeman.
So what I'm hearing, Mr. Mock, is you're just never going to retire.
Oh, no, we're gonna get this done.
We're going to get this done. We're moving along pretty swiftly.
So how often should we be reviewing ordinances? Should it be yearly? Should it be every other year?
Said 10 years.
Well, it's
That's
whatever you determine to review, but you don't, theoretically, you should never have to review them.
Yeah.
Theoretically, it should be a living, breathing document. And every time you make a change, the document that's called the Code of Ordinances should change. But what also has to happen is, and I've talked to Mary Tatro at our office, we have to, as your legal advisor, point out when you are changing things to make sure we also have repealer language to remove the old stuff that's wrong.
Mhm. And we have to have somebody designated, whether it's the clerk or American Publishing. We have to have somebody designated that's
current.
going to take care of putting in the new stuff. And that's what didn't happen.
Because if it was a living, breathing document, every change, sort of like down in the State House, they print books every 2 years, but they always have supplements. And we could, now that everything's easy to do electronically and it's not typeface, we can just keep current, and hopefully you never have to re-review them unless you wanted to.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay, uh-oh, Member Newquist.
How do we stay current with changes in state statutes? Because that all has to be updated.
Every year when the state statutes come out, and again, first of the year, I did the exact same thing. I checked state statutes. But when the state statutes come out to change things, usually they mandate us to do stuff. That's why we have the ethics ordinance put in. That's why we have the,
Sexual harassment ordinance.
yeah, why we have the Will County Registration of Lobbyists ordinance. That's why we change our rules on landfills.
Mhm.
When they change the statute to require us to do stuff, we need to do it, and then we do it. But what we've done in the past is we just did it freestanding and didn't plug it into the Code of Ordinances, and we may have one document that says A and a different one that says B that's only 60% similar, and we didn't repeal it. That's why I said it's important on the state's attorney to do the repealers.
And the citations also.
Mr.
Right.
Mock, who in the state's attorney's office is going to be responsible for doing that checking in January each year after you're gone?
So far, nobody.
Well,
But
could you
Mary
please
has been
poke
doing it.
somebody?
No, I'll get somebody to do it. We do.
Whoever it is probably should be sitting in on this committee occasionally.
And it's not just for you guys.
Right,
They change the statutes that affect the sheriffs. They
right.
change
All the
statutes, all of them.
statutes. No.
And we check them
understood.
every year.
Yeah.
We check them every year by topic, and then we say, you got to do this, you got to do that.
And I assume then it would come going forward to the executive committee unless they keep the ordinance.
Unless it's something they can handle internally.
Okay, all right. Any more questions? Okay, I have no more announcements. No need for an executive session. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Motion Freeman, second Butler. All those in favor? Those opposed can stay. Thank you, everybody.